I loved the first Stree film. It had messaging that didn't grate on anyone's nerves, and it had characters and a plot that were really, really fun to watch. So I'd already made up my mind about the second film. I was going to like it because I had the confidence in the cast to deliver a performance, and the writers, even though they're not the same writers, to deliver a story that hit all the right spots. And I'm not disappointed. Stree 2 does wonderfully in delivering everything, but there were quite a few things I didn't like about the film. A lot of annoyances that I wasn't able to ignore as easily as I was able to in the previous film. I'll talk about these later in the video, but for now, let's just talk about the film. Stree 2 Sarkate Ka Aatank. It sounds like a pulp novel you find with sellers on railway bridges across Bombay. This movie sets up our heroes Bikki, Bittu, Janna and Rudra Bhaiya against Sarkata, a demon who's abducting women in Chanderi because they're too forward in their thinking, they're too independent. The demon wants to return Chanderi to the good old days when women stayed in houses and did everything their men told them to do. Aiding our heroes, like in the previous film, is Shraddha Kapoor, still an unnamed protagonist doing mystical, magical shit, and also we see Stree herself. This time, the film flips the script. We have women being abducted now instead of men, and Sarkata doesn't even ask for permission like Stree did. He just rolls his head in, wraps his hair around women, and drags them away to this weird magical hideout. And sure, we have the opposite happening here, women being abducted instead of men, but there's a subtle difference, something a little more sinister. In the previous film, men were being locked up to protect them from Stree. Here, the men are locking up their women, taking away their identity, their desires, their needs, and stifling them. This isn't a free will situation where people are being locked up for their safety. This is about forcing people to change who they are or who they want to become. I had many problems with this film, starting with Bhedia. He's essentially brought into this film to fight Sarkata, give our heroes a chance to even the playing field, but he essentially does nothing in the film. He doesn't fight Sarkata and reduce his powers. He doesn't hurt Sarkata in any way. He does nothing. All he does is give the audience something sort of neat to look at. One of the rules of writing stories is that if something can be removed from a story and the story functions just fine without it, then remove the something. If Bhedia was absent from the film would literally be unchanged. They could instead have given Bhedia something more substantial to do, something that affected the plot in some very minor way. And how the heck did Bhedia get into that realm? From what I understand, you have to be both male and female to enter the realm. So how did a damn mutt walk into this place? The other thing, and this is sort of vital to the film, is Bikki, at the end of the film, had to pull a sword out and give it to Stree. Pulling the sword out was something the Stree could have done herself. Sure, Sarkata attacked her when she tried to pull it out at first, but given time, she would have made her way back to the sword and pulled it out. So there really was no need for Bikki to do anything in the film, really, except be a vessel for Shraddha Kapoor to get to the other realm. And that could have been done by any man, really. And finally, this is a minor issue, really, but why does Akshay Kumar's hair look so weird? Also, why have Akshay Kumar in the film at all? The role could literally have been done by anybody else. Unless they're planning a future film with Akshay Kumar as the bad guy, which maybe they will. I don't know why they would have him in the film at all. But moving on to what was great about the film, I liked that the muscle in the film is Shraddha Kapoor. While the four men aren't really all that good at going up against bad guys, Shraddha Kapoor does a wonderful job of standing between our heroes and Sarkata. I like that the item number was more than just an item number. Even if it eventually just had Tamanna Bhatia getting kidnapped, it was a nice touch. I like that at the end of the film, Janna and Rudra Bhaiya are sitting outside looking at the fight like Sanjay and Dhritarashtra from Mahabharata. Because Janna had sight and Rudra Bhaiya was, like Dhritarashtra, blind, and never mind. I was thinking, most of us remember our ancestors fondly. Even though we don't really know them that well, we think good things about our grandfathers. We believe our great-grandfathers were good men who did good things, and we think the same of their fathers before them. But if these men were to exist in our world, just like Sarkata, how much would they agree with whatever was happening in our world? How many of them would dislike almost everything about our world today? And how many would actually have the maturity to accept that their time is gone and the world has moved on to things other than what they believe to be true? And by extension, generations later, how much will we be able to accept the world that will emerge in the future? Even though at our core we might believe the world has changed, perhaps for the worse, will we be too immature to accept this change? I don't know. Anyway, Sarkate Ka Aatank is a light-hearted movie. I laughed out loud several times. This is supposed to be a horror film, but most horror films don't really scare me anymore. Because I'm an adult. Or maybe I'm just too stupid to really understand the horror in the films. The film wasn't scary though, but like the first film, it was very entertaining. I admit there are many problems with the film and I didn't like it as much as the first film, but I still liked it. It was fun, it was entertaining, it was a good story that deserved to be told. And that's it from me. Don't forget to like and share the video. Subscribe to the Psycho Film Pirate channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.